I've not seen a character quite like this one before. It feels so original and unique, this creation. Was that something that you gathered right from the very start of this project?
Yes. Firstly, for myself, I tried to not compare my work with anyone else's but myself. So I'm trying to usually better the work that I've done before or change genres or characters or whatever. So I had never done or played a character like this, or even been part of a sort of character-driven, dramatic drama. This genre is it's very rare that it's a film out and out is modeled on just one character's life and their journey and their beats. So in in every department, it was a very, very different film.
I mean, you only need to look at the poster to see she's just oozes she's just cool. Sometimes that's the only word you can use. It must have been so much fun to play this role across, because obviously in almost every single scene as well.
Yeah, it was hard, it was challenging, but it was, like you said, it was a lot of fun. I think I lived vicariously through her. There were no restrictions, there was no social conduct that was necessary. There was sort of like a abandon with which I could emote and feel, and if there was, like, especially with the scenes where she's angry, I could go like all out. There was no need for me to hold back. So in many ways, it was actually very, very therapeutic.
She's got some great one-liners,
yes,
which we in the UK we call them zingers.
Yes.
Was there a favourite that stood out? Was there one that you most enjoyed sort of saying and shooting?
So no one line, but there is her just general what she says, but what she feels, like what you sense in her eyes is maybe vulnerability, but what she's maybe telling you to do is to, get lost and stay out of her business. I really enjoyed that part, where it's like, okay, she may be saying a certain dialogue, but it's actually what she feels while she's delivering that line is totally opposite to what you're hearing.
I was reading, that there was some slight resistance in regards to the casting, but Sanjay wanted you, and that's when you've got a director of that kind of stature in the industry who wants you to play his lead, and is so determined to have you as his lead, does that make you want to work even harder for him to repay that faith?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially because when I first heard the script and narration, I thought I was too young, and I thought that I wouldn't be able. I didn't see myself being able to pull it off. I was a little doubtful, I'll be very, very honest. And he was really clear. And that was almost like, it was shocking. Like, I want to work with this director since I was like, 0. And then he comes into my life giving me this massive part, believing in me more than I believe in myself. It was really surreal. And I think from there on, there was really no turning back. I was 100% in it. I surrendered to it till the last moment. I don't think I even sort of left the film or the character for even a second. Even when we were sitting at home for so many months because of COVID, it was always with me.
Working with him, he is a true master of his craft. He's one of the greats. Just what was that collaboration like? Did it live up to all the expectations you've had since you were 0?
I don't think anything would have prepared me for the journey that I was on with Sir, because I don't think my brain could imagine that far. It's like if you know the alphabet just to Z, and what if I tell you there are some 75 more alphabets that you don't even know of? So I didn't know the other alphabets. I knew it only up to Z, but it totally it opened up a whole new dimension in a world for me. So I think it went way beyond my expectations in terms of growth and, just awareness as an actor, as an artist, the ability to really, really think that I'm not able to do this, but then I finally actually go and do it. It was quite amazing.
I mean, he has a big Netflix picture in the works. I was at Hiramandi.
Yes.
Maybe I'm not sure if I said that right, but how important can some of the web platforms now, like Netflix, be for the Bollywood and for the film industry? Because I guess it's a huge industry already, but making it that bit more accessible and so for people all over the world to be able to enjoy the movies from that region.
So I think that there are certain films that are perhaps really good films and have very interesting storylines, but may not necessarily work in the theatre. The reason being that, at least in our country, 75% of our audience is male, right? Now, there's certain kind of films and the women sort of come out with their families and their kids on the second or the third day. So then it becomes like a family viewing. And then there's the youngsters. So there are these different brackets, but there are few films that maybe in between don't have a really wide reach, so that they're targeted, they're called niche films, but that doesn't mean that they're not good stories. What happens is that these films now have gotten a platform like a Netflix where there's no pressure for the producers and the makers to be taking that sort of box office, getting stressed about the numbers. At the same time, they're reaching a wider audience. They're going beyond the diaspora. And that's what's making the world really small. Like, I'm sitting in Bombay watching Korean content and Spanish content, and tomorrow somebody in Korea could be watching Hindi content. Like, I think that's amazing, because I feel content and art should have no boundaries. Even language has, language is not a boundary for music or for movies or for cinema. So in a way, I feel the Netflix and the Amazon and all these OTT platforms have opened up a lot of opportunities for filmmakers and writers to reach out to so many different people. So I look at it in a good way. But having said that, there are certain films that can only be viewed in the theatre, because those are the tentpole cinematic experiences that you have to have with an audience, with your popcorn, and without having to put the TV on pause and go and go to the loo and come back, or answer a few calls and come back.
But do you think it's almost quite liberating that there is no pressure really on like you said, on that kind of global success, because it's such a huge industry, the Bollywood film industry, that if it doesn't make it and reach America or parts of Europe, it doesn't really matter so much? Is that quite freeing in some ways?
Well, I think it does reach everywhere, because there are Indians everywhere, let's put it that way, okay? So they go out and they get their cinema. I feel like in general, yes, our population is extremely large, and for even under the Indian film industry umbrella, there are so many languages. We make so many films in a year. But I believe that because, like I said, the world is becoming a smaller place, content in general is going to start repeating itself. So if you're only chasing story, and if the stories are the same but they're being told in different ways, why are we limiting it to one country? So I have huge expectations from the Indian film industry, in a way that, tomorrow we will be releasing alongside a Hollywood film, and there will be a discussion as to which film one should go for. That we should get to that point. The competition is good and the content is good too. So we should all come to that point where it's just about the best content wins, and not where it's coming from.
I've interviewed both Deepika Padukone and Priyanka Chopra before, and obviously they've both starred in big Hollywood blockbusters.
Yeah.
Is that something you're sort of interested in? Is that something you'd like to try one day?
Absolutely. Of course, the pandemic also slowed things down a bit, but I do have an agency there. I have been in conversation with them for quite some time now, and I think we're all very determined to make it happen. Not for any reason. It's not like I just want to tick off the box of, I did a Hollywood film. For me, it's just about challenging myself. Like, even when I pick up a role like Gangubai, it's about what I've not done before, and how I want to kind of sort of step outside my comfort zone. So I believe doing an all Hollywood film would do that, because it's new ways, it's different character, you're reaching out to a different audience, and you're working with different people, and it's a mixture of cultures, which I think it's all about that now.
And my final question, I mean, your social media presence is huge. I mean, you've got 60 million Instagram followers, which is a little bit more than what I've got. How important is that part now in your career? Because obviously, you know, go back 20, 30 years, it wasn't really even a thing. How much does the social media play into the promotion of a movie? And also, how big a part does it play now in your career?
Well, I think it's a good medium for reach. Okay, there are these barometers with which you understand how much your content has been liked, with its engagement and the interaction rate and the following rate and all that. Like, it's a new base for data altogether. But I believe it's not the only description. If you're a movie actor, at the end of the day, you may have 100 million followers, but nobody's coming and watching your movies, then it's a bit pointless. So it depends what you're using it for. I try and keep my social media very limited to mainly my work, and then of course keeping it about like my personality in general. I don't think it's everything. Like, to me, it's not everything. I don't look at it as I'm not sweating if I'm losing a few followers here and there, and the number doesn't matter to me. To me, the movies matter. If the movies are good, that's all that matters.
Brilliant. Well, the movie here is good, so that that helps. Thank you so much for your time today. Much appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You